Invincible brings to DVD the 2015 dark, grim thriller slash horror film, The Corpse of Anna Fritz. I'm not one who usually would give trigger warnings or anything like that, but if you are triggered, you may not want to listen to what I'm talking about. I'm not going to be explicit, and I'm not going to get into the horrific details of this film, but let's just say this is not a film for everybody. Having said that, it's really well made. Directed by Hèctor Hernández Vicens, with Alba Ribas, who plays the titular Anna Fritz, Cristian Valencia, Albert Carbó, and Bernat Samuel. From Spain, this film is presented in Spanish with English subtitles. It's a Region 1 disc, now that all the tech stuff is out of the way. The basic story here is this. Mega movie star Anna Fritz in Spain, that's the idea, is that this is fictional, but she's this big film star, has been found dead at a party, and she's being wheeled into the morgue by this young morgue attendant. This young morgue attendant, who I must say, looks so distractingly like a young Clive Owen that it was distracting. It was amusing to me. Eventually he does things that make you not amused anymore, but it's almost like you told AI, make a 23-year-old Clive Owen with like a 5 o'clock shadow, and you'd get this guy. It was really distracting and amazing. Nothing against the film or the guy. I'm just saying it stuck out at me. So this young morgue attendant wheels the body of this movie star into the morgue. It's late at night. He's alone. He takes out his camera. He takes a picture of her face and he sends it to friends by basically saying, "Look who they just wheeled in. Oh my God, this movie star, this beautiful, sexy movie star is here." The friends show up. They want to go. They want him to leave. They want him to go out and party. They want him to go out and do drugs. And he's like, "No, I've got to work. I like this job. I don't want to lose this job." And they're like, and they know that he has Anna Fritz there. And like, "Oh, can we see her? Can we see her?" So eventually, reluctantly, the friend lets his two buddies come down. The buddies are total dirtbags. They talk about women in such a way from the out of the gate, you know, they're just human garbage. Just while they're waiting to meet our not our hero, but our morgue attendant friend. And so they go down. One thing leads to another. They want to see her naked. They want to touch her naked. They decide nobody's going to know if they have their way with her. This is really dark. And I told you this movie gets really dark. The movie is graphic, but not explicit. So you see them doing what they do to her from a distance, from a stationary camera, from whatever. There's no doubt what they're doing, but it's not like X-rated material. Well, it would have been X-rated in the 60s or early 70s, but not now. So just really grim and gruesome. This is like a dark road this film goes down. And I'm not going to say much about where the film goes because it goes in places you would not expect. But let's just say they come to severely regret what they just did and spend the rest of that night trying to figure out a way to not wind up in jail. Let's just say that. So it's a very dark, grim movie. It reminded me of some other films that I've seen in a good way. For some reason, Mute Witness came into my head. Not that that's really too much to do with this film, but it's well made. It's really well shot. It's effective. Like, you hate these guys, and it is so grim. It really works in your emotions, which to me is effective filmmaking, even if the topic is really repulsive and disreputable and nihilistic. But that's what this film is. So it's, as I said, very well shot, though I will say this. I was watching this in the afternoon on a nice big TV, and not the sunroom. I wasn't watching it outside or anything, but it did what some modern movies do that makes me displeased, and that is there were a couple of dark scenes that were so dark, the TV might as well have been off. I couldn't see anything that was going on. And I almost contemplated stopping it and then watching it later at night when all the lights were off. And I know films cinematically are designed to be seen in a dark theater, and that's the best presentation for a movie, is to be watching it in the dark. But when it's so dark you can't see anything, and it's supposed to be an important moment, maybe throw a little light on somebody. Other than that, I thought this was a really well-made film, but like really not for the faint of heart. So that's the movie. That's what I have to say about the movie. I think it's good. I think if you're into dark, grim horror thriller cinema, you will probably enjoy this. I think if you're a normal person, you probably want to stay away from this because it is a very, very dark, grim, and at times graphic depiction of 2.5 really, really terrible people and what they think is okay to do. The guys clearly view women as not even human beings. They view women no different than they view the corpses in the morgue, the way they talk about them, and it's pretty reprehensible. I don't think that the movie feels that way. I think the movie's depicting characters that feel that way. So one odd thing about this disc, that at least the copy that I got, I don't know if I get these in advance a little bit early. It looks to be a retail copy of it, but there's no menu on this, so you put the disc in, it just automatically starts playing. And I kept thinking when it got to the end, it would revert to a menu. Some earlier DVDs were authored that way, but it just actually loops. So if you can't get enough of this movie, just throw it in and it'll play for the rest of your life, or as long as your player and TV last. And it has no chapter marks either, which was a little weird. So other than that, that is, from Invincible, The Corpse of Anna Fritz.